You scroll through 500 names. Somebody replies in seconds. And still, standing alone in your kitchen at 11 at night, no one's arm brushes yours, no one's shoulder is close enough to lean on. You reach out, not on the screen, just physically, into the room, and there's nothing there to hold. You've assumed that reach is enough, that a full inbox counts as company. In a moment, you'll see the exact ancient currency your body still expects instead, and why it has nothing to do with words at all. And by the end, you'll understand the real split hiding underneath your phone, the moment connection and touch got pulled apart, and why your body has been quietly waiting on the wrong half of that bargain ever since. Picture, for a second, a troop of primates at rest. Picture a troop of primates at rest. One sits behind another, parting fur strand by strand, picking out debris that isn't even there anymore. This can go on for an hour. It looks like hygiene. It isn't. It's currency. Every stroke is a small deposit into a bond account that says, "I will defend you. I will share with you. You matter to my survival." Anthropologists who study primate behavior estimate some species spend up to a fifth of their waking hours doing exactly this. Not hunting, not eating, touching each other on purpose. Your ancestors inherited that same wiring long before they had words for it. Here's what that touch actually does inside a body. Physical contact triggers a cascade of calming chemistry, the kind that lowers stress hormones and produces a real, measurable sense of safety. It's not sentimental, it's biological bookkeeping. Your nervous system was built to treat touch as proof. This creature is close enough, trusted enough, to be near my skin. No text message has ever produced that proof. A message can carry information. It cannot carry the specific signal your body evolved to look for. So consider your hundreds of contacts. Every one of them can reach you instantly. None of them can touch you. Your inbox has never once triggered the ancient calming response your ancestors got from a hand on the shoulder or a body curled next to theirs at night. You're flooded with signals of information and starved of signals of safety. That gap has a name, even if nobody in your group chat has used it. You are groomed constantly and touched almost never. The British anthropologist Robin Dunbar has spent decades studying exactly this trade-off. His research suggests that as human groups grew too large for everyone to physically groom each other, language itself evolved partly as a substitute, a kind of vocal grooming, gossip and conversation standing in for the fur-picking of your primate ancestors. But notice the word substitute. Language extended the reach of bonding. It never replaced the deeper, older system underneath it, the one still quietly waiting for contact. Which raises an honest question worth sitting with for a moment. When was the last time another person touched you with no agenda at all? Not a transaction, not a greeting, just presence. Not a handshake closing a deal, not a hug goodbye at the door. If you can't remember, you're not broken. You're just living in a body still asking for something your calendar rarely offers. What would you even call that kind of contact now? It might be worth leaving your answer in the comments. Ancient human groups didn't leave this to chance. Communal sleeping arrangements put multiple bodies in contact through the night, generation after generation, as ordinary as breathing. Hair braiding and combing rituals, found across countless cultures, gave people formal excuses to sit close and touch for long stretches. The human equivalent of that primate grooming session dressed up as beauty and utility. None of it needed a name like bonding practice. It was just how a group stayed a group. Greeting customs carried the same hidden engineering. A forehead pressed to a forehead, a nose brushed against another nose, a long clasp of hands held slightly too long to be efficient. These weren't decorative flourishes, they were verification systems, the body confirming what words alone couldn't. You are still safe with me. Every culture that survived long enough to be studied built some version of this into daily life, because a group that stopped touching was a group that started drifting apart. Here's the turn worth sitting with. Digital contact didn't fail you by accident. It succeeded at a different job entirely. It was built to move information fast, not to move safety through skin. Your ancestors never separated the two. Connection and contact were the same act. You've inherited a world that split them apart, handed you the information half at scale, and left the contact half to chance. No wonder the numbers on your phone keep climbing while the feeling underneath stays flat. This doesn't mean your messages are worthless, or that community has to look exactly like it did around an ancient fire. It means the ache you feel isn't confusion, it's accuracy. Your body is correctly reporting that something it was built to expect hasn't arrived. That's not a flaw in you. It's a very old alarm, still working exactly as designed, going off in a world that mostly stopped listening to it. So the next time 100 notifications land and the loneliness still sits there underneath them, you might ask what your ancestors would have reached for instead. A hand, a shoulder, a body simply near yours with nothing to say. That answer was never complicated. It was just physical. You can have 500 contacts and still be starved of that one signal. So before you close this, think back to the last person who touched you with no agenda at all, and leave their name, or just the memory, in the comments below.